Last minute shakeup at 5:30 a.m., laundry situation not good. And when your focus is on helping your clients, it's easy to forget about yourself. But NASM knows trainers.
Morning, Ryan. Is okay.
And staying in front of the day isn't always as simple as 1, 2, 3. So when the unexpected has you pressing pause,
what's the latest on creatine?
I'm going to get back to you on that.
Let NASM1 help you press play. Visit NASM.org to sign up for a membership today.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Share Care Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today I want to talk about some of the big things that we need to focus on when it comes to exercise and some of the small things. And let's not lose the small things when we're going after the big things. Let's not forget the big things as we get into the minutia of exercise and training. So let's just start to discuss what are some of the big, important things by far when it comes to exercise and fitness. And number one is, and this is no particular order, and this is by no means an exhaustive list, but you just got to prioritize regular movement throughout the day. And I know that people will say, well, that's not exercise, that's movement, and fair enough. But I think that one of the big problems is the next thing is we're going to limit sitting and reclining. So there's a lot of sedentary behaviors that take place. And as Rodney Korn from NASM used to call it, a chair-borne society. So we're here, we exist in chairs, we exist seated. And I think it's important to limit the amount of seating and reclining that's done throughout the day, and then move more regularly throughout the day. And we see this in the research clearly that you can also exercise an hour a day. You can go to your personal trainer, you can do personal training, you can go to a group fitness class, and you can just absolutely smash it. And then sit and recline for the other 23 hours in a day, and you'll still have some of the adverse effects of sedentary lifestyle. So you're actually still a sedentary individual that has activity throughout the day. So you exercise, but you're also sedentary. You're not sedentary because you did exercise. So that regular movement, getting up throughout the day, we see that this just constant sitting is so unhealthy. So even breaks from sitting seem to show the benefits of just getting up and moving. The next one, very important, is kind of the base little protocol that's put out there by so many of the guidelines, including NASM, but also the major participators in fitness, ACSM guidelines, the American Heart Association, 150 minutes to 300 minutes. But we're going to stay at 150 minutes. 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio every week. Preferably broken up throughout the week. Yes, you could go out and do 150 minutes of cardio at one time, and that's a lot of cardio at one time. And still, yes, that is 150 minutes, but it does seem that broken up throughout the week, especially for those who have some pathologies like diabetes and heart disease and things like that. That is beneficial to break that up and do your 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio throughout the week. The next one is resistance training 2 to 3 days a week, focusing on every major muscle group. That's not a lot, but these are the most important things by far, is making sure that you're getting in some resistance training 2 to 3 days a week, every major muscle group. And that doesn't have to be free weights. I know that we tend to be like, hey, I love free weights over fixed path of motion machine. No, just need the contractile activity in your muscle. That's what we need. So you can sit on a leg press machine. You can sit on a chest press machine. I also like to limit the amount of sitting and reclining. So I do like a personal preference is so many of the exercises I do, I like to have people up if possible. Also, remember some of the big things. This is important. I think it's one of the biggest ones. Variety is the spice of life. It adds interest into the workouts that we do and what we do with our life. So you can say, hey, this is the best exercise for that. You can do that and you get bored with it and you stop working out. Or you can create the variety and the different grips and the different holds and the different angles and different movements. And sure, it's not whatever that best exercise is that we read about in the magazine, but doing exercise is more beneficial than not. And the spice of life, just creating that variety. So I go, you know what? I made working out interesting. Then you're going to be more likely to come back and work out and not have this fade into the background. So remember that when you're working with your clients, when you're training your clients, that variety is the spice of life, and we need to add variety. It doesn't matter that you feel it more when you do this exercise, that this exercise research shows and the study shows, and we know through EMGs that this is the most important one for glute activation. Cool. I think that's good. You should know that. You should do that. And then you should do some other things too. But Rick, the single leg, the step up for glute activation, incredible. Cool. Do it. But do squats and do deadlifts and do the variety of exercises that you get to add. Because variety, spice of life, keep them coming back. And also, I don't want to train with somebody that's just going to give me the same exercises over and over, even if it is the best for me. So focus on prioritizing your clients' goals, but also how your clients feel about showing up. And those are my last two: prioritize your clients' goals and prioritize how your client feels when they come in to see you. So move regularly throughout the day, limit sitting and reclining, 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio each week. And the data actually says 150 minutes to 300 minutes of moderate intensity cardio, or 75 minutes to 150 minutes of high intensity cardiovascular training, cardiorespiratory training. Resistance training 2 to 3 days a week for every major muscle group. Variety is the spice of life. And make sure you prioritize your goals, your clients' goals, but also how they feel when they come in. This episode of the NASM-CPT Podcast is brought to you by NASM One, the membership for trainers and coaches. Members enjoy unlimited access to hundreds of career resources. Get the Edge app to schedule and program clients. Enjoy half off all certifications and specializations, access to free CEUs, and more. All of this for just $35 a month. Go to nasm.org/membership to learn more about NASM One. Now we got to sweat some of the small things too. And the small things are small compared to those big things. But it's a big thing when it comes to training. And I think the number one thing we're looking at here is you need to know what your clients like and what they don't like. And you need to be able to navigate that. So your clients will not like some exercises that will be seemingly vital to what it is that you would like to do in order to help them reach their goals. And there will be things that they like to do. And I see this so many times where people like to do cardio. And I don't even know if they like to do it. They just think that cardio is going to get them the answers that they're trying to get. And I'm like, you've been doing 90 minutes, 4 days a week, every single day that I've seen you. I don't know what your goals are. If it's to remain healthy, right, then getting your cardio in is great. If you're looking for physical changes to your body, which the majority of people that I've had this conversation with that have been spending so much time on cardio, they're doing it to lose weight. They're doing it to create tone, to look a little bit different. And that's going to be some resistance training. So you're going to learn what your clients like and what they don't like. You're going to learn what their goals are. And then you also have to be able to decipher fact from fiction in order to help them reach their goals. There are other small things that are important. I think posture is important. And I think technique and how you do exercises are important. Now, not everyone's technique is going to be the same. And there are some standard techniques and they're good. They're not exclusively correct, but they're good. What we need to identify is what we call a performance bandwidth, which is When do we start going into the not good category? I want my clients to move, and I want them to move effectively, efficiently. I want them to have good posture, those 5 kinetic chain checkpoints. But there's, the feet aren't always going to be pointed straight ahead, and there will be pronation that happens, and the knees will collapse a little bit in certain exercises, and one shoulder is going to shrug higher than the other shoulder. And if you just stand there, one shoulder probably is just lower than the other shoulder anyway, and sort of twisted to the side of your head. You're not always looking straight. You might look more with your dominant eye, and so the head is always turned a little bit. Might hip shift one direction or another. I think a posture is important, but sometimes you spend a lot of time picking apart little things and forgetting those big important things. Now, when somebody's paying you as a personal trainer, your job is going to include big important things and small things. And that's why you are professional, because most people can just follow the big important things guidelines, and they'll be able to do what they need for the big important things without a personal trainer. You are here for the posture. You are here for the technique. You are here to learn what they like and what they don't like. And you are here to assess your clients and then to reassess your clients. And it just chaps my backside and burns my biscuits when people go in and they assess and they never assess again. It drives me nuts. Or I see this a lot, even at my gym. I see it so much where somebody will come in and they'll do like a corrective kind of session with a trainer, and the trainer will do all of these assessments and they'll say, oh yeah, this is, very good, very good. And then they'll do some corrective exercises. And at the end, they'll say, get up and walk. And how do you feel? And they go, I feel pretty good. I'm like, cool, but that wasn't the pre-assessment. If the first assessment was get up and walk and see how you feel, followed by a treatment, and then get up and walk and see how you feel, that makes sense. But if you're going through a half dozen assessments, you provide corrective exercise, and then you don't do the half dozen assessments you did on the first part, that's not a reassessment. That's it. All you had to do is have them walk, assess, treat, and then have them walk again. If that's all you're going to do in the end, is have them walk. So your assessment has a reassessment. Anytime you do an assessment and you don't reassess, the assessment part was pointless. So you need to assess, you need to reassess, followed by track your progress. Track your client's progress. You have to be able to track your client's progress to see where they started and where they are now. Let's show them that they're making progress with you. And then you also need to be able to cue your clients in order to optimize outcomes. And the cues come in so many different ways. There's visual cues where I just show you what I want. There's me telling you audible cues. There are tactile cues where I might say, I want you to squeeze here. There are different parts that I want you to pay attention to. Your elbows keep coming forward on a curl, which isn't wrong. It's just not how I want you to do it. I'm going to put my hand here. Make sure your elbow touches my hand at all times. If you move away from it, adjust until you touch my hand again. All right. So these are cues. Get good at cueing. The small things add up to big things. So we do want to sweat the big things, and we do want to sweat the small things. And I'm going to say this, and this is important, that throughout the years, you're going to learn a lot as a personal trainer. And sometimes the little things you're going to make into really big, huge things. And there are going to be some really big, huge things that are going to lose priority. It's important that the big things never lose priority, and that the little things, though small, are prioritized in an appropriate manner to get the best results for your client, because that's what we're here to do. And it is amazing, through my 20 plus years of being a personal trainer, the amount of times that I had seen this exercise is good for your rotator cuff, and that's like the only exercise they ever do. And then I never see that exercise after 5 years. It's a random occasion where I see it, because this new exercise is better and this new exercise is better. And then it all cycles back around and people find that old exercise and they go, oh, check this out. This is what they used to do before everybody got all screwed up with this exercise. And they'll give that exercise. The prioritization is the misuse sometimes of the new things, the novel exercises. I was talking to a guy that I was training. He's going to physical therapy. And I had him do clamshells to help stabilize his hips. He goes to a physical therapist. It's got a sign up that says no clamshells. And I laughed, and I appreciate that in some ways, which is I can give you that on your own, maybe. But also the fact that if there are a lot of exercises outside of clamshells that can help. What I don't like about it is that pointing out clamshells, which is what so many people do, don't work. And that's not true. They do work, but they only work in a certain way. And so that's why a continuum of application needs to be applied. And we need to learn that there is a continuum of application, and we will grow and we will progress. And some things we'll prioritize and some things will drop down on that list, but never lose focus that the big things are always the big things. And you can sweat the small things. You can, but don't let those overtake the importance of making sure that we get the resistance training in, the cardio in, the flexibility training in, prioritizing your clients' goals, making sure that they're moving regularly throughout the day and they're limiting their time seated and they're limiting their time reclining, and that you are providing variety, because that is the spice of life. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. Leave a review if you're inclined to. I'd appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm, and maybe some more people can find the podcast. If you want to reach out to me, you can hit me up on Instagram at dr.rickrichy, or you can email me rick.richey@nasm.org. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM-CPT Podcast.